WarGames is taking shape. The women's match completely set. The men, on the other hand, we're still looking for Roman's fifth man. Who that's gonna be, I don't know. But after tonight, it certainly shouldn't be Seth Rollins. And I'm gonna tell you who it should be. Tonight, as I drink an old-fashioned, I think you're gonna like what I have to say. Also, Sheamus and Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship. Great match, as Sheamus would say. It was a banger. But we got a DQ finish. Here's a little hint. Triple H, run it back at WrestleMania and give Sheamus the WrestleMania moment. Capiche? Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins in the main event. We got Bloodline interference. We're going to talk about what was a very dull episode of Monday Night Raw, taped from Grand Rapids, Michigan last week. I hate these tape shows. What I don't hate is a nice cold beverage. Going to the venue inside my mother's basement. We're serving them cold. And when I get there on this Monday night, I want to know, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there.
Why has Triple H been so successful? Why is Triple H running WWE better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on Monday and Friday night? Long-term booking.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your Monday Night Raw post show for November 18th, 2024. I am your host, JD from New York. As always, coming to you live from the OTS venue inside my mother's basement. Sponsored tonight by my great friends over at Turtle Beach. We got Turtle Beach, a part of the OTS family. I know, man. It's unbelievable. I know. guys are too kind, man. We got a new JD chant in the venue, man. Holy shit. That's louder than what we usually get on Wednesday's Dynamite, man. You can barely hear a fucking pin drop in the venue on Wednesday nights, man. I appreciate you guys very, very much, man. Thank you so very much for joining me here on your Monday nights, wherever you may be. We will talk about my great friends over at Turtle Beach a little bit later on in the show. We got some show and tell later, man. We'll have some fun with that. Monday Night Raw. In all seriousness, let's put the jokes aside. Let's put the funny skits aside. Monday Night Raw. The entire premise of this show was to find the fifth man. Who is the fifth man for WarGames? Is it going to be Seth Rollins? Is it going to be Braun Breaker? Is it going to be LA Knight? We've seen all these names, these superstars, get asked to join the OG Bloodline. But Sammy, Jay, and Jimmy, they're all stuck on Seth Rollins. They're all fixated on the architect joining the OG Bloodline because of his ties with Roman Reigns. This was obviously a tape show. It felt it, it looked it, it sounded it. It was a tape show. I can't wait to get through these fucking tape shows. First of all, I hate the fucking holidays. Yes, I am the Grinch. So I can't wait for all of the tape shows to go away. I can't wait for Survivor Series, Saturday night's main events, Raw on Netflix, which just got announced at the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles. Travis Scott is now the new musical artist composing the Monday Night Raw theme song. They're shaping things up to be a very big deal over there. The tape shows are really hindering my enjoyment of these programs Monday and Friday. But coming out of Friday, which I thought was a great SmackDown, Bronson Reed joined the Bloodline, Solo's Bloodline. The assassination is what they coined it of Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns could not ride the wave of the tsunami that Bronson Reed delivered to him. Bronson Reed is the fifth man. My biggest question coming out of Friday Night SmackDown was, all right, just kind of piecing it together without giving too much of a spoiler away. We all know Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed were going to be in the main event coming out of Friday Night SmackDown. So piecing all of it together, if you guys are smart, which most of you are, you kind of figured where this was going. Bronson Reed attacks the Bloodline. The Bloodline gets involved. Solo Sikoa asked Seth Rollins to be on his team. He turned him down. Last week on Monday, you saw where all of this was going. So after Friday, we come to Monday, and the Bloodline led by Solo Sikoa interfered and cost Seth Rollins the match tonight against Bronson Reed as he delivered the tsunami. 1, 2, 3, he got his win back from Crown Jewel. The biggest question coming out of this show, coming out of Friday's show on SmackDown, to me, was, is WWE going to do enough to tell the story of Seth Rollins teaming with Roman Reigns? I don't think they are. I don't think they can. I don't think that they would even venture down that path because there is no story. He told Sammy no. He told Solo no. He told Sammy, Jay, and Jimmy tonight no. And I put in quotes, under no circumstances will I team with Roman Reigns. Now you take that little nugget of promo that Seth Rollins delivered tonight and you apply it at the end of tonight's show, which was lame, as simple as could be. It was absolutely not exciting whatsoever. It was not the cliffhanger that we all wanted. I don't think Seth Rollins is the fifth man. I don't. This is the story that they're going with. They rather tell the story of who the fifth man is and not where is Paul Heyman or the internal problems, the internal destruction of egos that is destroying the OG Bloodline from within, and can they coexist? This is the story that they're opting to tell. Who is the fifth man? Bronson Reed is the fifth man for Solo. They're going to keep you guessing on who the fifth man is for Roman. But my biggest question was, can they tell a story of Seth Rollins really fitting into Roman Reigns' bloodline at Survivor Series for WarGames? The answer is no. The answer is no. Based off tonight's instance, based off tonight's happenings, there is absolutely zero way coming out of this show that Seth Rollins can, will, or should be a part of the OG Bloodline Survivor Series WarGames team. It's not enough. What exactly is there for him to go out there and want to be in a diabolical double ring steel cage with 9 Samoans? I don't think tonight is really going to push him past that threshold, man. I don't. Oh, man, he lost to Bronson Reed tonight. Oh, man, Solo Sikoa. He just randomly appeared outside and he stood on the announce desk and he interfered and caused a little bit of a distraction for Seth Rollins, and he lost the match. 1, 2, 3, and Bronson Reed is in the ring and his hand is raised by the real tribal chief, Solo Sikoa. Give me a fucking break. At the end of tonight, whatever transpired is never going to fly with Seth Rollins being the fifth man at Survivor Series. It's not. Under no circumstances. That's it. It's over. He gave you his answer. Seth Rollins not at the Survivor Series in a meaningful way? Not in a match at Survivor Series? Listen, Survivor Series is not going to have a lot of people on the fucking show. Randy Orton's not going to be on the fucking show. What makes Seth Rollins so special and why Seth Rollins can't miss the show if Randy Orton was written out of storylines for the Survivor Series? It's going to be fine. He doesn't need to be shoehorned into this thing. So where do we go? Where do we go? I genuinely don't know. You have a very small list of people that could be the fifth man. Very, very small. Rollins was on that list. Cody was on that list. Clearly, they're not going with Cody. I told you exactly what they should be doing with Cody at Survivor Series. I said on Friday that Cody and Kevin Owens should wrestle at Survivor Series if they weren't going to be on either team. Cody on the OG Bloodline, which we saw Cody team with Roman at Bad Blood. Kevin Owens would have been a little outlandish to team with Solo Sikoa after all this time. I guess it would have made just as much sense with him teaming with Solo as Seth Rollins teaming with Roman, so they're not going in either direction. Cody's not on OG Bloodline. Kevin Owens is not with Solo Sikoa. They should be in a one-on-one match, non-title, unsanctioned. It is not being approved by WWE management. Non-title match. Whatever happens there, it is not WWE's problem. And Kevin Owens beats Cody Rhodes in a non-title match, which then grants him a WWE Championship match at Saturday night's main event, in the main event. And that's where we see Randy Orton come back, and he screws Kevin Owens out of that match and the title, and Cody goes on to win and retain. That's part one. You took away two of the options. You're doing something else for their storyline. That's exactly what should be done for their storyline. Because in storyline, with what Kevin Owens did to Randy Orton, it does not deserve a world title match, and WWE management should not allow that to happen. Whether they grant it or Cody grants it, he doesn't earn a title shot by bringing back a banned pile driver for 24 years to give Randy Orton cervical injuries. You don't do it that way. Non-title, unsanctioned. So those two options are off the table. Seth Rollins was the other option. Now, you're not going to shoehorn him in this thing because, oh my God, gee golly, Bronson Reed's in the match, man. Let's just mash these two feuds together. No, it doesn't work that way. That's lame. WWE creative under Triple H is a lot better than that. Bronson Reed fits like a glove. He looked like a fucking bulldozer out there on Friday night. And he's Samoan. He fits. And good for him. He's in the fucking main event of Survivor Series. Good for him. He deserves it. Now we move on to the OG Bloodline. It's not Cody. It's not Seth. It's not LA Knight. It's not any other babyface. That doesn't belong there. The other two options are Brock Lesnar, which is not going to happen. I see a lot of people mentioning, oh, what if there's a beast incarnate at Survivor Series? No. Give me a break. Brock Lesnar will not be back on TV until Vince and his lawsuit is finally finished. Or when Trump pardons Vince McMahon and everything is settled with Janelle Grant. Nothing with Brock Lesnar is happening on TV this year. Could it happen next year? Sure. Anything can happen in the WWE, and I'm sure that they would like to have Brock Lesnar back on television. Brock Lesnar's out. So it's not Cody, it's not Seth, it's not Brock, it's not LA Knight, it's not Braun Breaker. The other option would be, being that he made his return at a house show for WWE this weekend, Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman has mega history with Roman Reigns. He's got a lot of history with Bronson Reed. They just had a colossal 2-month feud on Monday Night Raw that ended basically, for now, in a last monster standing match. I think Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman would like to have unfinished business, being that that match ended in a very chaotic way. Now, I don't see that happening, and I would not do that myself, but it is an option for WWE to ponder. Outside that, there are no more options but one. And you guys know who I'm talking about, just based off the process of elimination. The way that I would do this now after tonight's ending being such a letdown for WWE at the end of Monday Night Raw, this is how I would do it. Rollins basically gave you the answer. Under no circumstances would he team with Roman Reigns. Good. Good. I hope he keeps his word, because it's only going to empower his character a little bit more, and it's going to make him look like he stands on his own 2 feet, and he's not a hypocrite, and he truly is an architect, and he truly is a revolutionary. Fine. Don't let him go back on his word, because whatever you do and whatever you concoct as a story is not going to make sense of what he said tonight. It would basically render his promo useless tonight. So he's out. Rollins is out. I would not announce a 5th man. I would not announce the 5th man. I would let all of this linger going on into November 30th. OG Bloodline is worried. They only got 4. And we got Solo Sikoa and his team with fucking Bronson Reed and Jacob Fatu manning that side. It's over. The OG Bloodline is finished. Rollins has already denied Roman twice. Let's make it a 3rd time. 3 times, and that's it. Maybe we'll get him axed again, and maybe he'll say no again. I would not have any OG Bloodline member for a 5th man announced until the day of Survivor Series. When that match starts, and we see Paul Heyman, and he sees his boys in trouble, that's when we see him return. And he returns to announce the 5th man, a 5th man who he met and had an in-ring segment with on June 21st, 2024 in Chicago during his rehabilitation period, during his feud with Drew McIntyre. Paul Heyman interrupted a CM Punk promo in Chicago. And I want to read to you what CM Punk and Paul Heyman discussed in that ring on June 21st in Chicago when Paul Heyman interfered and interrupted CM Punk. CM Punk is in the ring with Paul Heyman as he walked out, and he says it's hot as balls outside. He said when Punk opens a show in Chicago, it's hot as balls inside the arena as well. He said Punk sat next to his children when he was inducted into the Hall of Fame. Despite being the wise man, for the tribal chief. He says he basically looks at CM Punk as his best friend. That's it. Paul Heyman looks at CM Punk as his best friend. He said he meant it then, he means it now. Punk said there's only one person in the world who can hijack my promo and get them to chant Roman Reigns, and it's you. I forgive you. He invited him into the ring, but asked if he was okay. He says he doesn't look so good. They hugged. Heyman, teary-eyed. He stepped back, said he needed that hug because this was obviously during a time where he was being bullied by Solo Sikoa. This was obviously before the table spot that wrote him off of television at Madison Square Garden. Heyman says he heard on sports radio on the way to the arena that night in Chicago that Chicago is CM Punk's town. And that really pissed off Solo Sikoa. Heyman said now that Solo is the head of the table, Solo wants every town to be his town. He told Punk that any day he's going to get cleared, and anyone who steps in the ring with him will learn they are inside the ring with the best in the world. He told Punk if he doesn't leave, the bloodline will come out here for him. He said there is extra security, and he said it goes against his instincts, but he told him to get the hell out of Chicago right now. Punk dropped his head. He listened to Paul Heyman and his warning. Punk asked if he's serious and wanting him to leave because Solo and the Tongans are going to try to jump me in Chicago. He didn't believe him. Solo comes out. Solo told Punk he has two options. He says he needs to pay his respect to him and the bloodline, or they're about to make sure his ass never gets cleared to wrestle again. He asked Punk what he was going to do. Punk asked Heyman what the favor is he wanted to ask him of if he does him this favor. Heyman said, "Take me with you." Punk looked at Solo and said, "I acknowledge the fact that I don't see the bloodline standing in front of me. I see a bunch of fake-ass Usos and a phony cosplay tribal chief." That was it. That segment, to me, is the catalyst for what we will see over the next 2 weeks. That segment was done for a reason. And as soon as I heard all of the CM Punk discourse on social media, it's got to be Punk. It's got to be Punk. Punk is going to be the fifth man. I thought back to that CM Punk and Paul Heyman promo. And I said, you know what? We may be onto something here. So how do we do it? Is Punk the fifth man? It's looking like right now, CM Punk could possibly be the man, the perfect fit for Roman Reigns and the bloodline. But how do we get there? Don't announce him until Survivor Series. Paul Heyman comes out in Vancouver at Survivor Series when his number is drawn to enter the match. He comes out, he does his whole thing, ladies and gentlemen, crowd goes crazy. He introduces CM Punk. It would be very weird for CM Punk to not be on Survivor Series this year after it was the show last year, which he returned to the WWE. The only hang up would be he just wrestled inside a Hell in the Cell. He wrestled Drew McIntyre in one of the best Hell in the Cell matches the company's ever produced. Does he want, and does WWE want, to put him inside a WarGames after wrestling inside a Hell in the Cell? That's the only holdup. But if you're going to act CM Punk, he'd probably give you, fuck yeah, man. Punk is here to make money. Punk is here to make memories. Punk is here to fix everything that happened all those years ago. And if it makes sense, and it leaves a legacy, and it leaves a lasting impression and a memory, Punk is going to do it. So I don't see why it would be a problem for Punk. In fact, if you ask him, he'll probably give you a fucking yes before you even ask him. Has Punk ever been in a WarGames match? No. There's a first time for everything. He's the fifth man. At the end of that match, he's the fifth man. And he is the momentum that carries the OG Bloodline to beat Solo's bloodline in WarGames. What this effectively does is take CM Punk, the man to step up and take the spot that Rollins denied for now twice. Punk showing that he could put his differences aside with Paul Heyman. Punk showing he could put his differences aside with Roman, who there was beef with in and out of the ring, to help him beat a cosplay Solo Sikoa tribal chief, Solo Sikoa. Seth Rollins is going to look at this. 1 year ago, wasn't he in WarGames? Didn't he team with Cody Rhodes? Didn't he reluctantly team with Cody Rhodes? He did it. And then who showed up at the end of that match to steal all of the work that Seth Rollins put into that match? It was CM Punk. Second year in a row, CM Punk shows up and steals Seth Rollins' thunder all over again. And Rollins is not even a part of the match. They asked Rollins, he said no. So CM Punk says yes at the request of Paul Heyman. And it makes Punk the better man compared to Seth Rollins. And it makes Seth Rollins look like a petty bitch. Rollins is going to be bothered by this. Seth Rollins is going to be bothered by this. And that is going to kickstart the feud on the way to Rollins and Punk at WrestleMania. That's it. Where do we go after Survivor Series? Well, weeks ago, it was CM Punk who made a mention of Gunther. He wants a world championship match. After Gunther takes care of Damian Priest at Survivor Series, we got this little show called Saturday Night's Main Event. You could do it there. If not, they're going to need a major match on Netflix, January 6th. CM Punk versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. Who wins? Clearly not Punk. Why? Seth Rollins. Rollins is going to interfere in that match and cost Punk the title, and that will carry them through the Royal Rumble, and that will carry them through WrestleMania season and kickstart the feud and get the WrestleMania match that should have been this year at 40, at 41. Rollins and Punk, one-on-one, no title, only ego and only bragging rights. And that's how you do it, and that's how you kickstart Punk and Rollins going into WrestleMania season. And that's what I would do as far as the fifth man is concerned for Survivor Series. It all makes sense. It all makes sense. So don't tell me it doesn't. Go back and reference the June 21st promo. There is a reason why that happened. Cody was also a part of that segment. It really led to nowhere outside of that amazing opening segment in Chicago. Where did it lead? Why did they do it? Why did Paul Heyman say he need a favor? CM Punk said, I'll do you this favor. Sure. What's the favor? November 30th is the favor. That's the way we go about it. Bronson Reed and CM Punk are the fifth men. That's what I'm going with, and that's where I stand. It's not Rollins because it doesn't make any sense, and WWE will not make sense of it after what Rollins said tonight under no circumstances. So he's not teaming, and nor should he, otherwise he looks like a fucking hypocrite. It's not LA Knight. It's not Braun Breaker. It's not Braun Strowman. It's not Brock Lesnar. It's not Cody Rhodes. It is CM Punk. All of it makes sense. And if that's the way that they go, I expect it to go over big for WWE. And we're going to be in for some special times, man, come November 30th, if that's the case. Looking forward to it. That's what we're doing. And no, I need to say this now. No Tonga Hikuleo, no Zilla Fatu, no Lance Hawaii, no new debut. You don't put that on a new up-and-comer in that match with no build or no star power behind that individual. You don't. That is not a spot to debut a new talent for the very first time. You do it to tie up loose ends that you did in June with Punk and Heyman, and I think that's the reason why we get CM Punk as the fifth man. Boom. Love it. Let me know what you guys think of that down below in the comment section. Thank you guys very much for all your support, man. Love it. We got 2,000 people in here on a very lame and tame Monday night. Can't wait for the excitement to pick up after Survivor Series. But if you guys are here, man, I would really appreciate it if you hit that thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. It really helps me out in the algorithm. Let me know what you think of that creative booking there. Who, in your opinion, is the fifth man for Survivor Series on the OG Bloodline team? Is it Punk? If you think so, sound off in the comments below. Hit that thumbs up, man. We'd really appreciate it. Let's try for 750 live likes tonight on the Raw Post Show. Sponsored by Turtle Beach. We are sponsored by Turtle Beach, man. Now look at these bad boys, man. Oh, my goodness. I've been using these things to play some Black Ops 6. The game is terrible, by the way. But man, oh man, I'm having a blast playing Call of Duty, Destiny with these, man. 80 hours of battery life on these bad boys, man. And they are comfortable. And the feel, man, the build on them is so nice. Turtle Beach is sponsoring the show, man. Black Friday's coming up. Cyber Monday's coming up. You want to save big during their biggest sale of the year. All you need to do, if you're looking for a new gaming headset, man, we're going to get into it in just a second. If you guys need a new gaming headset, all you got to do is go to turtlebeach.com/script and go check out their holiday deals coming up, man. It's going to be tremendous. It's going to be tremendous. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. And make sure you guys get those super chats in, man. It's a great way to support the show. Super chats on YouTube are open. Shout out to my family over on Twitch. We were live last night in front of 150 people playing some Call of Duty. We're well past 11,000 followers. If you guys want to support over there, man, hit that follow button. And if you guys want to become a member over there, I would really appreciate a subscription over there. Proud of my family over on the Purple Snake, man. Make sure you guys support on Twitch and wherever you can here on YouTube. And we're going to get into Monday Night Raw in just a little bit here, man. And one final note, Tuesday Night Titans, 74 episodes in, man. Tuesday Night Titans will be live tomorrow night. The Solid Monster and JD once again back at you on Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk about all this shit and all the controversial takes from the week that was pro wrestling on Tuesday Night Titans, episode 74 tomorrow, 8:30, right here on YouTube, on this channel, and on Twitch. Monday Night Raw. We open the show with the ladies. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez start Monday Night Raw. They are in the ring for promo time. She knew Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill were in the house and weren't alone, so Liv Morgan did not come alone either. They brought out Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae. Jax told Morgan and Rodriguez that she didn't care about them, but couldn't stop thinking about Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi. Those three women entered right on cue. We got fake crowd noise filling the arena, and it was so blatant and so awful. It's so cringy to look at, man. Ridiculous. Even when they do the open of the show and you see all the superstars kind of coming into the arena, you can tell it's all piped in noise because it sounds so artificially done. I hate it. Belair introduced Io Sky. That is the fourth lady on the babyface side. So they all got into the ring, and Liv Morgan did some mathematics. She noted that you guys got 4, and we got 5. The math is not really mathing up. You're still outnumbered. We still own the numbers game. Morgan called herself really, really smart because she knew what was about to happen and asked who would throw the first punch. All of a sudden, Rhea Ripley comes on out, looking like dashing Rhea Ripley with the old school Cody Rhodes face mask he used to wear. during his dashing days. Or you want to go back a little further, way further, when The Undertaker broke his orbital bone, or I should say Mabel broke The Undertaker's orbital bone. He had that Phantom of the Opera mask, which allowed him to continue to wrestle. If you guys remember that. Rhea Ripley's out there, and the report was that she was going to be out longer than WWE wanted. Then there was a report saying that WWE was pretty confident that Rhea Ripley would be back imminently, and the injury was not as severe as they once thought. Which brings us to tonight. She's out there with the face mask. She storms to the ring. No antics, no entrance. She just power walks to the ring. She gets into the ring with a microphone. She steamrolls past all of her babyface team, and she gets in Liv Morgan's face and yells, "WarGames." And then she properly headbutts Liv Morgan in the face with her face mask, which looked brutal, and we got a big brawl. Morgan escaped through the crowd. Io Sky wiped everybody out with a moonsault outside the ring, and all of the baby faces stood tall. So we are getting a women's WarGames match, and it is official. It will be Rhea Ripley, Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Io Sky against Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Candice LeRae, Nia Jax, and Tiffany Stratton. Fun fact, this will mark Io Sky's 6th WarGames match. Io has been in every women's WarGames match predating NXT Black and Gold. She's been in every WarGames match. She is Miss WarGames. So the fact that Io is out there, you see why she's a part of Team Rhea and Bayley is not. When Bayley is also a part of this storyline as well, but Bianca doesn't really care for Bayley. She doesn't like Bayley at all. She has a mutual respect for Io, and Io is Miss WarGames. So that's why she's out there. I hate this. Now, granted, I'm sure the match will be fun, and I'm sure the match may end up being better than the men's match, let's be honest. It was last year. I have a feeling the match is going to be really good. But I can't get over the fact, and this is where all of the people who claim I'm a grifter and I hate AEW and I have my nose so far up Triple H's asshole that I can't see and can't smell, all these people don't know a fucking thing. I complain about WWE and I criticize WWE just as much as I do AEW. I do. And the fact of the matter is, WWE as of late they've been on autopilot mode. We all know that. And I've ranted for weeks that we don't need a women's WarGames. It's not needed. It should not be done. And all of this seems so hastily thrown together that it just comes off so manufactured and so forced. I don't like it at all. There's nothing that these women have done throughout the entire year that warrants a WarGames match. A Survivor Series traditional 5-on-5? Sure. But we live in a day and age where WWE's got to do one for the men. They got to do the same thing for the women. When it comes to all these big types of matches, Royal Rumble, King of the Ring, Money in the Bank, WarGames, the women are going to get equal treatment to the men. In this case, it's not needed, nor does it make the match feel special. In fact, it just waters the match down, where you got people online asking now to stop the yearly WarGames tradition, because if you're going to go about things in this direction, in this way, it's only watering down the concept if you have to rush and quickly put together something with no emotion or no feeling. The women's division has not had a story all year outside of Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, and it's been a bumpy, rocky road getting to that final match where Rhea takes the championship back from Liv Morgan. There's been injuries, stoppages. It's just a mess. This feels very manufactured. And WWE, I feel like they rushed Rhea Ripley back just so that they can do this match. Otherwise, I don't know what they would have done. I don't know what they would have done at Survivor Series with all of these women involved. It almost feels like they rushed Rhea Ripley back to television, put the mask on her, and are letting her go out there, get medical clearance with the mask on to compete inside of WarGames. Just for this match. I get why people are complaining about the WarGames stipulation happening every year. It's because of this. Meanwhile, the Bloodline shit's been building for 4 years. This has been a constant thing on WWE television all year. It deserves a WarGames, and it's family. It's all family. So yes, it deserves a WarGames. But the women? No. And this was a very Vince-like segment from Triple H. It really was. Have everybody out there, they set the teams aside, and they yell, WarGames! That's great. Great. It doesn't matter how cool it sounds when it comes off Rhea Ripley's lips. It's still very forced and very manufactured. But we'll see what happens. I request one of two things at the WarGames match if this is the match. Either an EO over the moonsault, which we have seen before. Even she's done it inside a trash can and jumped off the top of the cage. So I'm sure we'll see an over the moonsault by EO. Or the prettiest moonsault ever by Tiffany Stratton off the top of the cage. Maybe. We'll see what happens. Baby faces are going to win, and I feel like Rhea Ripley is going to get her revenge, at least for now, on Liv Morgan. Mixed tag team match. Ivy Nile and Chad Gable against Rey Mysterio and Zelina Vega. Mixed tag team match to open Monday Night Raw. Chad Gable continues to be, he's a winner. I want to preface this by saying Chad Gable's a winner. He's one of the best talents that the WWE's got currently. But WWE has not given Chad Gable any favor with the audience. He loses more than anyone on Monday Night Raw. He is nothing but a loss after loss after loss after loss. And this match was no different. Now, there's no real story here. They're just putting all of these men and women in certain situations just for the sake of using them on television, creating some discourse between them, and giving us random matches with no real direction, story, or emotion. There's no story here. Zero. Chad Gable and Ivy Nile. They got this little thing going on with Rey Mysterio and Zelina Vega. Ivy Nile smacked Vega before the match. They brawled to the outside. And the referee started the match with Rey and Gable. Nile distracted Rey, allowing Gable to take over. Gable and Nile put the boots to Rey. Referee held Vega back because she couldn't be in the ring unless Nile was the legal woman. Rey tagged in Vega eventually, who hit Nile with double knees in the corner. She goes for two, but Nile blocked the suplex and took her out with a big clothesline. Nile was in control. We got to commercial break. Vega, we come back from the break. You see Vega hit a tornado DDT. Vega went for the tag, but Gable grabbed her by the leg. She then hit an enziguri, tagged in Rey Mysterio, who had a seated senton and a roll-up on Chad Gable for a 2. Gable caught Rey out of midair and hit a big DDT. Gable was seated on the top rope. Rey catapulted Vega toward Gable, and she brought him down with a Hurricane Karana, which looked nice. Vega dropped to the top rope as Nile charged at her, but Nile couldn't make it over the top, so she sent herself out of the ring over the middle rope, and this allowed Rey to follow with a springboard moonsault for a near fall. He hit 619 after the pinfall attempt. Springboard splash on Chad Gable. 1, 2, 3, and Rey Mysterio wins it for him and Zelina Vega. Fun match. Not going to sit here and claim that a Rey Mysterio and Chad Gable match is bad. It was fun. And it did what it needed to do. Now, at the end of the match, the Creeds helped Gable to his feet, but he pushed them away. He screamed at them that he wasn't a loser and they shouldn't accept this. Gable slapped Julius twice, and it started to motivate him. Julius and Brutus began shoving each other, psyching each other up, and all 4 members of American Made stood tall together. I don't know what we do with American Made. I feel like they're dead in the water on Monday night. I do. I don't know what needs to be done. I don't know where we go from here. Everything that they've done on Monday seemingly has been a loss. Tag team championships. I could see the Creeds eventually getting the War Raiders, maybe. Because I see the War Raiders eventually taking those tag team titles from Judgment Day. The Creeds versus War Raiders would be a great match if they want to set that up properly. But where does that leave Chad Gable? The Intercontinental Championship is held by Braun Breaker. He ain't chasing the Intercontinental Championship. And Braun Breaker is not losing that championship, at least till WrestleMania by my clock. So what do we do with Chad Gable? I would move the entire group over to SmackDown. I'd have a supplemental draft right after the Monday Night Raw debut on Netflix. I would shift a couple of people from Raw and SmackDown on the opposite show, call up some NXT talent in the meantime. I would move them over to SmackDown. And if you want to do something substantial with Chad Gable on Friday night, I would have him build a program with LA Knight, and your WrestleMania match for the United States Championship would be Chad Gable versus LA Knight for the United States Championship. The United States Championship would be the benchmark of American Made. It's just that easy. It's just that simple. I don't know why we haven't done that and set that in motion already. Because right now on Monday, they're losers. He ain't going after Braun Breaker. He ain't winning the World Championship. He got decimated by the Wyatts. Tag team titles could go to the Creeds after the War Raiders, but how soon? So what are we doing? We need something new for them. Let's move them over to SmackDown, get Gable in the United States Championship title picture, and then have the Creeds go after the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Any team over there would work great with the Creeds. DIY, Street Profits, Garza, and Berto, the Motor City Machine Guns. I think that would be the right move to make. Finn Balor. He saw JD McNuggets, who was clearly stressed out, and he offered to take the wheel for Judgment Day. Actually, no, he didn't say anything about McNuggets. I just wanted to throw JD McNuggets in there. Liv Morgan. JD saw Liv Morgan was clearly stressed out, and he offered to take over the Judgment Day duties tonight. And she said, yes. Do you mind? He said no. So he turns to JD McNuggets. Obviously, they're the tag team champions. He needs both Carlito and Dominic to do McNuggets and Balor a favor. And he needs them to warm them up, or take care of them, rather, before their match with the War Raiders. So the War Raiders, they got to be taken out by Carlito and Dominic Mysterio before Finn Balor and JD McFish defend their titles against them, which is coming because the War Raiders are number one contenders for the Raw Tag Team titles. When and where, I don't know. So we'll see what happens there. But clearly, Dominic Mysterio and Carlito were never going to get the job done. We got a vignette. We got a vignette from The Miz and Karrion Kross tonight on Monday Night Raw, which quite honestly was one of the best segments of the entire night. I thought this was fantastic stuff. The Wyatt Six kidnapped The Miz, and we saw clips of that, highlights of that. Karrion Kross interrogated The Miz in the ring last week, demanding to know where the Wyatts were. It was all a setup. The Wyatts showed up, the Final Testament and The Miz attacked all of the Wyatts and laid them out on Monday last week. Miz smashed, I think it was Rowan with a steel chair in the back, took him out. Miz says he deserved an Oscar for his acting. He said the Wyatts are freaks and they could not change him. Kross says he just shows the world the truth, just like we do. He says the Wyatts are wounded people abusing others to help them feel better. He said the Wyatts are not invincible anymore. Miz went on about big directors and who should produce and direct this motion big motion picture, right? Final Testament and The Miz versus the Wyatts. Marine 7. He had grandeur and highlights and thoughts of Marine 7. Cross says they will continue to play the game with mind control. TikTok. How good is Karrion Kross's promo? Very good. I don't know where this goes, but I'm lobbying and I'm putting my stamp of approval on all 8 of these men at Survivor Series in a traditional Survivor Series match. I'd like to see that happen. Backstage, Ludwig Kaiser asked Gunther last week why he let Priest hit him, and then he retreated. Gunther says, "You do not speak for me." He says he needs to realize who he is and go out there and make a name for himself and speak for himself. Kaiser nodded and said, "Thank you." Gunther told him to look into his eyes. He asked Ludwig, "Do you still see the ring general?" Kaiser smiled and said, "Of course I do. Nothing has changed." Gunther stood tall. He was proud that his friend said, "Yes, I still see the old ring general." Gunther said, "Priest does not get under my skin." Kaiser walked away. Camera stayed on Gunther. He took his jacket off. He saw Priest sitting at a table signing autographs, and he goes over and puts Priest in a sleeper hold. Priest fought out of it. He kicked Gunther. He knocked him into some production crates. Gunther picked up a steel pipe. Priest knocked the pipe out of his hand. Priest leaned down and told Gunther, "In that ring, you may be a general, but in the streets, I am the king." Adam Pearce walked up and asked, "What's going on here?" Priest laughed and said, "The champ, he needs some ice. Do you mind getting him some?" Adam Pearce didn't seem too bothered by this backstage scuffle between Priest and Gunther. They're telling the story of Damian Priest being the alpha male here. Basically is what it is. And Gunther being the beta male. So we got the alpha and the beta. It's going to be a situation where Gunther is not going to really be confident in himself to beat Damian Priest. They needed a different twist going into their match at Survivor Series as compared to what they did at SummerSlam. It was the other way around. It was Priest. He had all the shit going on around him with the Judgment Day. He didn't know what was going on. A lot of confusion, which kind of cost him the match, obviously, because Balor, he cost him the title at SummerSlam. Now, at Survivor Series, it is Gunther who lost to Cody at Crown Jewel, and he basically threw it in Cody's face. "You're going to be a secondary champion. You are not the real world champion. I'm going to be the world heavyweight champion and the crown jewel of WWE," and he lost. So now he's a little down on himself. And I appreciate that they're slightly humanizing Gunther, only to kind of amp it up and turn that up again going into Survivor Series, going into Saturday night's main event, and whatever else is happening with Gunther going into the new year. I know the rumors of Goldberg are looming out there. So it's going to be interesting to see how they take this Gunther character going into Survivor Series and then what happens after Survivor Series, especially with what I predicted between Gunther and CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. So I like what they're doing here. I like it a lot. Braun Breaker and Sheamus. This is for the Intercontinental Championship. This match came about after Sheamus basically interrupted Braun Breaker last week and asked Braun Breaker for a championship match. They got into it last week, and they got a match tonight. The Intercontinental Championship is the only title that Sheamus has not won in all of WWE. He has won every single title and has achieved every accolade in WWE but this. And I'm loving this. The fact that Sheamus is still eyeing that Intercontinental title, man. I love it. This was a banger match. And they got some great chemistry. Sheamus has got good chemistry with anybody. And you can see that Braun Breaker, man, anytime he gets in the ring, he's just getting better. He's just a fucking unbelievable athlete. He's great to watch. He's super fun to watch. He's believable. People really enjoy what he's bringing to the table. When he speaks, people believe. When he wrestles, people believe. And there's more dogs barking in the arenas every single week. Maybe not tonight with the tape show, but every week, dogs are barking for Bron Breakker. So we go into a commercial break. Literally 90 seconds into the match, we go into a commercial break. Bron hit a leaping clothesline off the apron, and Sheamus rolls over the announce table. That was a brutal spot. So we come back from the break. Bron knocks Sheamus down with a dive off the top rope to the outside. Sheamus fired up in the ring and hit a power slam, clothesline, lifting knee. Then he did the 10 beats of Bodhrán. Sheamus followed up with a diving knee drop, and he goes for a cover, and he only gets a 2 count. Bron came back with a backstabber for 2. Sheamus followed with an avalanche white noise, which kind of looked like it sucked because it looked like he brought Bron Breakker down on his left shoulder instead of flat back on the mat like he usually does when he delivers this move. Sheamus went back up top. Bron, he just gets right back up from the avalanche white noise, and he does his patented Frankensteiner, no hands, off the top rope. So then he brings him down with the Frankensteiner. Bron's setting up for the spear, but in mid-spear, Sheamus hits a jumping knee strike for a very close near fall. Crowd is getting a little bit more into it. This is the loudest they've been all night. Sheamus set up for the bro kick. Bron cut him off with the spear. Sheamus rolled out of the ring before Bron could get the cover. So we had it scouted. So Bron went for a sprinting spear like he usually does around the ringside area. All of a sudden, Ludwig Kaiser. Remember, Gunther told him to go and make a name for yourself. You go make a name for yourself. Don't worry about me. You don't speak for me. Go make a name for yourself. He did. He targets Bron Breakker, clotheslines Bron Breakker out of nowhere, and causes a disqualification. Kaiser also runs at Sheamus, who's leaning up against the steel side, or the ringside steel steps, and he drop kicks Sheamus into the steel steps. This was great. This was great. Very good match between Bron Breakker and Sheamus. Kaiser looks like he's eyeing the Intercontinental Championship. For now, I don't think he wins it. He tries to make a name for himself. He doesn't. I don't know if that leads to any dissension between him and Gunther. I don't know if they're going to split them up at some point next year. Who knows? But as far as Sheamus and Bron Breakker are concerned, this was a tease for what should eventually be the WrestleMania match in Las Vegas for the Intercontinental Championship. I don't know what we're doing with Bron Breakker, but clearly you see the vision. Triple H sees the vision. The vision is WWE wants Bron Breakker in the main event scene in the new era of Monday Night Raw as quickly as possible. He doesn't need to hold that Intercontinental Championship for 666 days like Gunther did. He's going to be an effective champion if he holds it till WrestleMania. Sheamus should be the one to end Bron Breakker's reign. What you got, like I just said, was a tease for WrestleMania. We run it back, and Sheamus gets the WrestleMania moment, and he wins the Intercontinental Championship. From there, you got a very over babyface who is going to do that title proud. And champions like Sheamus, babyfaces like Sheamus, they don't have any shortage of opponent. Who knows what Monday Night Raw is going to look like post-draft next year? We don't know. Imagine Sheamus as the Intercontinental Champion, and he's got Bronson Reed staring him down. Maybe we get Jacob Fatu staring at the Intercontinental Championship. Maybe we get Obafemi up from NXT, and he eyes the Intercontinental Championship. Sheamus is the right guy. Sheamus and Bron Breakker, WrestleMania 41, IC title. You give him the WrestleMania moment. You give him that title he's never won. That's the vision. That's the way I see it playing out for Sheamus next year. Jey Uso. He's with Jimmy and Sami Zayn as they approached Seth Rollins in the back obviously looking for the fifth man for their team at WarGames. They pitched to Seth that they've come together and put their differences aside. Sammy said, listen, last year you put your differences aside and your hatred aside for Cody Rhodes. You guys had a tumultuous history. You opted to team with him at WarGames last year. So do it again this year and stand side by side with us at WarGames. Seth said he'd stand side by side with Jay. He would stand side by side with Jimmy. He would stand side by side with Sammy all day long. I will never stand side by side under any circumstances with Roman Reigns. He says he won't do it, even though he'd love to get Reed inside the ring. He basically gave you his answer right there. The discussion of Rollins being the fifth man ends with this promo. All the people that want Rollins as the fifth man, you're not getting Rollins as the fifth man because it's not going to make any sense. This promo would be a waste of 3 minutes of everybody's life if Rollins goes back because Bronson Reed's in the WarGames match. No. WWE will not tell a story that makes sense enough for Rollins to want to be there. They cannot tell a story that makes sense for Rollins to want to be there. Why? Because Bronson Reed's a part of the fucking bloodline with Solo Sikoa? Oh my God, man. You can't go after Bronson Reed after Survivor Series. He says it's not worth it. It's not worth it. He said putting Roman back in power isn't worth it for him. And he said not for them either. He says he was going to drop Reed tonight so he won't be able to enter WarGames for Solo. He wished them luck and left. Jimmy comically said, I guess that's a no yeet. Rollins is not the fifth man. We got a vignette airing on Dakota Kai, who talked about the emotional challenges of working for her comeback. But she said that she's never wanted it more and loves it even more to be a pro wrestler. Gee, tell me they're making a women's intercontinental title without telling me they're making an intercontinental title. Dakota Kai will be one of the recipients of an intercontinental championship in the women's division on Monday night. I just hope that WWE's got plans to house 2 mid-card titles on top of women's tag team titles with a lack of depth in these divisions. Can they do it? I don't think so. Do I want to see it? No. There only needs to be 1 mid-card title, and they should have made an intercontinental title, and it should have been split between both shows. Just my 2 cents on the matter. War Raiders. They wrestled Carlito and Dominic Mysterio. This was very academic. Judgment Day was in control before we got to the commercial break. And they dominated early. Carlito distracted the referee. Dominic hit Eric from behind to take advantage. Dominic hit a cannonball. He goes for a cover. Gets a 2 count. Ivar gets out of the predicament with Dom. Suplex Dom into Carlito. And an apple fell out of Carlito's pockets like it was some fucking... it almost reminded me of like a video game. Oh my God, you punch Carlito and apples fall out of him. They hit Carlito with War Machine, which is their finish for the 1, 2, 3. Balor and McDonough attacked Eric and Ivar post-match. They targeted Eric's neck injury, and Balor laid him out with a coup de grace. That's going to happen eventually. And you know what's going to happen when that match happens eventually? The War Raiders are going to win the tag team titles. I don't know when, I don't know where, but I'm assuming it should happen. The way I would do it is I would do it on the Monday Night Raw following Survivor Series. I think that would be a great way to go about it. I could see them doing it on the go-home show next week. I don't want to see that, especially if it's a taped show. But I would like to see them win the tag team titles in front of a live audience, hot audience, following Survivor Series. I think that's the best way to go about it. Bo Dallas, he had a segment. We got a Miz segment with Karrion Kross earlier in the show, and we got a VHS tape segment with Bo Dallas, who was not dressed as Uncle Howdy. And I know, everybody said it online, and I agree. The uncanny characteristics and facial features of Bo Dallas to his brother are ridiculous. Like, you watch this promo tonight, and I swear to God, you saw Bray on your television screens. That's how similar both of these men look. And it's a great thing. Love it. VHS tape played of Bo Dallas without the mask, saying the trust of the innocent is a liar's most useful tool. He said they offered Miz salvation and freedom from the pit. I'm assuming that's the pit of hell. He said he tried to warn him, but he damned himself. I'm sorry for what happens next. You chose this. He says his hands will forever be bloodstained because of his actions, and he will lose what matters most. I never wanted this, he said in a very, very evil tone. He will lose what matters most to The Miz. His money, his fame, his beautiful wife, Maurice. What matters most to The Miz? Survivor Series, 4-on-4, Final Testament, and the Wyatt Six. Let's do it. Traditional Survivor Series match. We got a vignette with Lyra Valkyria, who said when she arrived, she was thrown into the fire, but I didn't burn. No, you didn't burn. But you know what is burning? Those attendance numbers for AEW. Did you guys see them in Chicago Thanksgiving week? Can't even draw 2,500 people in fucking Chicago, which is basically their home base away from their home base. Yeah, we won't talk about it, man. We won't talk about it. It's too embarrassing. I know. I know, man. I know. We'll talk about it on Wednesday, man. I'm sure we'll be all riled up. She said she stood toe-to-toe with the best in the world. She said she used to think she was a phoenix, but she realized she is so much more. She said she doesn't burn, she rises. Gee, tell me an Intercontinental Championship is coming without telling me an Intercontinental Championship is coming for the women's division. It's coming. Akira Tozawa, Otis, and Maxine Dupree. They cross paths with Kofi Kingston. Maxine says they're excited for the New Day's 10th anniversary, which will be honored at the end of the month. He asked how things were with Xavier Woods. Kofi says, listen, I wish I could tell you, I don't know. Xavier all of a sudden shows up out of nowhere as if he was eavesdropping and told Kofi that after 10 years of no serious arguments, they've been bickering and yelling at each other the last few weeks. Xavier says he can't stop thinking about what Karrion Kross said about the New Day being dead, and they're the last ones to realize it. Kofi says that's not true. The New Day ain't dead. And he needs to remember what the New Day is all about. Xavier says, oh, I need to remember. So it's my fault. Kofi said, no, I didn't say it's your fault. This hostility coming off Xavier Woods. Otis then interjected and said, hey, calm down. Xavier told him, mind your own business. He says they'll wrestle them next week. So it's going to be the New Day versus Otis and Tozawa. Otis and Tozawa are standing there, and Xavier is still yelling at them, calling them clowns, and said when they beat them next week, they will put them right back where they need to be. Again, man, I don't know who's turning on who. I said this last week. clearly we're getting some sort of separation between these two. Or maybe if there is no separation, we get Big E back, and he's the glue that binds Kofi and Xavier back together. I don't know when this New Day celebration's happening, next week or the week after. But the unpredictability factor of it, you can make a case for Kofi going heel or Xavier going heel. Do either of them go heel? This is the most interesting I've been in the New Day, man. I'm genuinely curious to see where this all leads for Xavier and Kofi Kingston, and if Big E is going to be involved. I'm assuming he will be. He has to be. He's a part of the New Day, just like Kofi and Xavier are. He's a huge piece of the New Day that's just not there physically right now. Big Bronson Reed versus Seth Rollins, main event of Monday Night Raw. This went 18 minutes. I mean, I would say that these guys in the ring going 18 minutes on any given night would have probably been better than their Crown Jewel match. But I'll tell you what, I can't say, and I can't sit here and tell you guys that this was better than their Crown Jewel match, because most of this match, at least half of this match, took place inside a commercial break. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you what we got was better than what we got at Crown Jewel. I physically can't say that. Was it good? Sure. Both of these guys are very good at what they do. But the energy clearly wasn't there, and I hate that this took place on a tape show. Reed made his entrance first. Then Seth. Bell rings. We have 20 minutes before the top of the hour. Plenty of time. They were about to lock up. All of a sudden, we see Jacob Fatu and the Tongans jump the barricade at ringside, and they all are surrounding the ring. Jey Uso's music hit. Sammy and the Usos run out, and they brawled with the Bloodline all the way to the back. So obviously, after that, we go into a commercial break. Rollins is in control after all of this chaos. We get back from break. Seth chopped away at Bronson Reed. Reed brushed it off, knocked Seth down. Seth rolled to the outside. Reed went after him. Reed beat up Seth for a little bit. Seth made a comeback. He slammed Reed into the ringside steps. He went for a running stomp on Reed on the steel steps. Reed moved. Seth then leapt off the top rope with a knee to Bronson Reed's head. Reed countered a sit-out powerbomb for a near fall. Or he countered with a sit-out powerbomb. I don't know what he was doing, but he leapt off the ropes with that knee, and he caught him in the knee, and then he delivered a sit-out powerbomb to Rollins for the near fall, and then they go right to a commercial break very quickly. It's almost as if it was like, they gotta go. Abrupt commercial break. Come back from the break. Seth powerbombed Reed off the top rope, and both were down, slow to get up. Reed is coming back. He got a very close near fall. Right before this match came to a close, he climbed to the top rope. He was going for his tsunami. Seth rolled out of the way, just like he did at Crown Jewel. Reed went for a running senton. Seth moved. He missed. Did Reed. Reed gets up. He lifted Seth. Seth slipped free, and he kicked Reed in the head. He then hit a pedigree on Bronson Reed for a near fall. Seth gets up. Fans are singing his song. He hit his chest, and then he landed a running stomp. He climbed to the top rope, and he was going for his big frog splash. All of a sudden, Solo Sikoa jumps the barricade, and he jumps on the commentary table. He distracted Seth Rollins as he was on the top rope. Dumb babyface syndrome. Bronson Reed gets up. He lands a Death Valley driver as he pulls Rollins off the top rope. Death Valley driver, 2 sentons. He goes to the top rope. Tsunami. 1, 2, 3. That is it. Bronson Reed wins. Solo gets into the ring. He applauds, and he raised Bronson Reed's arm at the end of Monday Night Raw, and then they go off the air. That was it. Anybody that wanted a fucking cliffhanger after that, I don't know what you were anticipating. I know I was anticipating something, and that was it. The most anticlimactic ending to a Monday Night Raw following what we got last week, following what we got on Friday. This is what they give us. I can't really sit there and tell you that I give it a thumbs up, but this was a huge disappointment and a huge letdown. I don't want to repeat myself after what I said so beautifully in the open of this show. Seth Rollins says, under no circumstance will I team with Roman Reigns. I refuse to give power back to Roman Reigns so that he gets what he wants. All because Bronson Reed's in the match. It's just not worth it to team with Roman Reigns. Done deal, signed, sealed, and delivered. Seth Rollins should not, will not, and I don't think creatively fits as the fifth man. That's it. It's over. He was asked twice. If he gets asked again after what happened tonight, he turns them down a third time. He should not say yes. If he says yes, he goes back on everything he said. CM Punk is the only man right now, because of the direction that we've got. The last two shows, Cody and KO are going in different directions. Rollins and Reed were going in different directions until Bronson Reed got involved with Solo Sikoa and he was chosen as the fifth man for the Bloodline. Rollins, because he's feuding with Reed, was asked twice. He said no. He was even asked by Solo. No. So Rollins is out. Oh, but JD, what about Rollins being at Survivor Series? You're not going to leave Survivor Series without Seth Rollins? Sure you are. They wrote Randy Orton off TV. Why not Seth Rollins? He could still be at the end of the show. He could have a factor in the show somehow. Everybody's like, oh, Seth Rollins should say he's the fifth man and then ultimately get taken out. And then Paul Heyman brings out CM Punk. I don't like that. The whole point of his promo was to say no, defiantly say no, and then you want him to say yes, ultimately to have him taken out of the match before the match even starts. You might as well not even include him in there. Why would you have the man go back on his word after so eloquently he put, fuck Roman Reigns, basically. You're going to put him in the match to ultimately take him out, so just leave him out altogether. So you don't make him look like a dumbass for what he said tonight. Nobody's announced that the fifth man. The Bloodline goes into WarGames with no fifth man. Out comes Paul Heyman, CM Punk. He takes that spot that Rollins said no to twice, proving he's a better man, proving he has the balls, the manhood to put aside the differences with Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns. To say, fuck Seth Rollins, man. This guy, he don't do business. He's all about himself. That's going to play up Punk and Rollins even more so, boiling over with Rollins' ego, just can't get over it. So then when we get Bloodline winning, because the Punk momentum's going to carry their win at Survivor Series, he then goes and challenges Gunther. He gets screwed by Rollins for the World Championship. Then we get the WrestleMania build for Rollins and Punk. That's the way that I see it playing out. But again, for all the people saying, well, you can't leave Rollins off of Survivor Series, sure you can. Why would you leave CM Punk off of Survivor Series when this was the very show that he debuted just a year ago with WWE after 10 years? This was the show that he came back in Chicago. It just works. It just works. I thought tonight's show, outside of the Reed and Rollins match, which was decent, riddled with commercials, and the Braun Breaker and Sheamus match, which was great, I thought Monday Night Raw this week was a dud. Was it better than last week? Sure. But these tape shows, I'm going to say it every fucking time, and they really, really ruin my enjoyment of watching a pro wrestling show. A, because we got the spoilers. And B, you just tell that it's manufactured, it's forced, it is just riddled with fake crowd noise and boos. There's no energy to it. Even Joe Tessitore wasn't as energetic as usually is. We got some WarGames build. We got some WarGames discussion out of it. It is what it is. Hopefully, we look forward to Monday Night Raw next week, and it's a lot better of a show. Next time you guys see me live will be tomorrow for episode 74 of Tuesday Night Titans. But tonight, we are sponsored, and all week, we are sponsored by Turtle Beach, man. The new Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset. I can't wait to end the stream, put these bad boys on, and play some Black Ops 6 as I enter 3rd Prestige. And I'm going to be doing that as soon as the show is over. But if you guys want to get yourself a pair of these, man, all you got to do is go to turtlebeach.com/script. I'm going to leave it in the description. I'm going to leave a pinned comment down in the comment section. And I pinned a comment atop the live stream chat. You guys want to see these things in action? You guys want to see how great these things just make you play? I'm going to throw it to my friends over at Turtle Beach. Tonight's show is sponsored by Turtle Beach. Do you guys remember when you got your very first headset, especially on Christmas morning, man, opening that box and seeing that beautiful headset all wrapped up nice and pretty underneath the tree? So excited to unbox it and jump onto Call of Duty. I know I do, man. My life was changed forever when I got my very first gaming headset. I thought I was king of the world. I could hear everything around me, different than what I was used to playing on. It was amazing. And that is what I'm experiencing right now in this particular gameplay that you're watching me play on Black Ops 6 on Skyline. I'm wearing the new Turtle Beach Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset, man. And let me tell you something. This thing is a monster. Whether it's for the gamer in your life or for you to relive those holiday gaming marathons this holiday season, Turtle Beach has the cheat code for the best gift of the year. And right now, it's their biggest sale of the year. Now through Cyber Monday, you can save on their most popular products. Just head to turtlebeach.com and tell them that we sent you. Don't wait. Head over to turtlebeach.com and grab your Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset and give the gift of Turtle Beach this holiday season and have that feeling on Christmas morning all over again. Now, as you guys see me navigate the map, man, I'm a Call of Duty pro. I know what I'm doing, and I hear everything around me, man. This headset is beautiful. You feel it in your hands. It is quality, man. It's the one thing I personally look for in a headset, man. It's quality. And this is so well put together. I hear everything around me. You guys see that I am strategically playing the map, working my kill streaks. I know which direction the enemy's coming in. I know everything that's going on around me so I can plan my next attack with my shotgun, man. I love my trusty shotgun. And just a few of the extra perks that I like about the Turtle Beach headset. We all have that friend whose headset always seems to die right before you're going into a Destiny 2 raid, or you are playing Search and Destroy on Call of Duty, and it's right down to the wire. Turtle Beach's Stealth 700 headset has an insane, and I mean legitimately insane, 80-hour battery life with quick charge, so you rarely have to think about charging it. The Stealth 700 also is the industry's first ever cross-play dual wireless transmitter system. That means you can seamlessly switch between your consoles and PC with just a click of a button. And it gets even better. While even being connected to your console, the Stealth 700 can connect to your phone for music streaming or taking phone calls at the same time. Listen to your favorite songs while gaming. Listen to your favorite podcasts. This one while gaming. All done with the Stealth 700. And Turtle Beach just doesn't have amazing headsets. They have every gaming accessory you could ever want, and they're all high quality at prices that don't break the bank. From flight and racing simulators to controllers, keyboards, and mice, Turtle Beach is the ultimate gaming cheat code. So get the ultimate gaming experience with Turtle Beach today. For a limited time only, head to turtlebeach.com and use that code SCRIPT. Once again, turtlebeach.com. Use that code SCRIPT to get access to their site-wide holiday sale. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them, and you guys can mention JD from NY right here on Off the Script. So please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Save big and don't delay. Happy holidays from Turtle Beach. Thank you guys for helping out when it comes to my sponsors, man. Without you guys, they wouldn't be joining the OTS family, man. Appreciate you guys very much. Go get yourself a headset this holiday season, man. Seriously. Can't play these games without a proper headset anymore. Super chats. Get them on in, man. And let me see what's going on with my friends over on Twitch, man. You guys are great. Appreciate you guys very much over there. First time chat with GMV777. CM Punk will come back in SmackDown when SmackDown goes to 3 hours. No, he'll be back before then. Yayo. JD, the GOAT of the IWC. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Super chats. Let's get into them, man. Get them on in if you guys want to support. It's a great way to do it. Who do we got? Michelle, $2 super chat. Sidro, they are excellent for music, brother. Last night, I was using them before the stream last night. I was using them, and I was listening to Spotify on my phone while playing Black Ops last night. It's great. Michelle with a $2 super chat. Maybe Roman himself has to ask Seth to join him. No. If they want to do that, Rollins has absolutely no reason to join to join Roman Reigns. So that's a third no from Seth. I hate Omni movement. I think it's awful. Lisa Osborne with a new membership. Lisa! Thank you, Lisa. Best in the world, Matt, with a $5 super chat. If they somehow pull off CM Punk and WarGames on OG Bloodline, man, did Paul Heyman ever get that favor reacts from Punk a few months back? Yes. See? You gave me that beautiful comment and that generous super chat at 10:24. I wasn't even live yet. Great minds think alike, brother. Sarit Mohanty. Rollins gets taken out. Night of PLE. 4 vs. 5 WarGames. Heyman returns during last entrant. Brings Punk to Team OG Bloodline. Rollins doesn't like it. Later and sets up Punk vs. Rollins at Mania. Kind of. But Rollins should not be on Team OG Bloodline for the reasons that I mentioned. If he's going to join ultimately to get taken out after what he said tonight, you might as well not put him on the team, period. Chris with a 29 months. So many taped shows lately. Yes. I can't stand it. Sidro with a $5 super chat. Punk will join Roman at Survivor Series as he is a Heyman guy. Gets granted title match at Saturday night's main event. This gets Seth jealous and he costs him the match, setting up Seth versus Punk. Yes. You wrote that before I was live as well. I think everybody was kind of on the same wavelength. So I kind of mapped it out during the show tonight, and I'm like, yep, it's got to be Punk. So I wrote everything down, prepped it, and I delivered to you guys what I thought was a tremendous pitch of creative. King Mo Jackson with a $1.99 OTS for life. This is my #1 channel on YouTube. Brother, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much, brother. Triple M. $2 super chat. Prison of Elders or the Tomb of the Elders on Reset tomorrow. Let me know if you're going to run it. Brother, I'll be on. As soon as Reset hits, I'll be on. Steve C. with a $5 super chat. I should have just stayed home and watched Raw instead of going to the Bruins game. The Bruins were a disaster. Raw was better. Fire Jim Montgomery. I'm assuming you guys are not having a fair shake this season, huh? Mike L with a $20 super chat. Just wanted to say, JD, I'm a huge fan and been following for several years. My dad sadly just passed away last week, and continuing to listen to you will be a welcome distraction as I grieve in the days ahead. Thanks, brother. I'm very sorry to hear that, Mike. I'm very sorry to hear that, man. My thoughts and prayers are with you and your family. And if everybody in the OTS venue can offer up your thoughts and prayers, let me see some prayer emojis for my guy, Mike L. who sadly lost his father this past week, man. We're all thinking about you, man. And any distraction I can give you, I will certainly give you the most entertaining week I can. Hollywood guy with a $5 super chat. The fifth man for Roman will be Brock Lesnar. Book it. He shows up with Paul Heyman. Negative. No. Apex Calibre with a $1.99. Helping Roman would make Seth hate Punk more. Yes. That's the point. Furious Nation with a 37 months. What's up, JD? Hope you're doing well. And will always keep up the great work, bro. Can't believe AEW announced big boom! AJ for Dynamite on Wednesday. Double chunk chocolate cookie. Did you guys see QT Marshall's rap today on social media? No wonder why their ratings are in the fucking toilet. King Mo Jackson with a $4.99. I'm loving the new look and demeanor of Nakamura. It's refreshing. Hopefully it leads to something. Bronson Reed with the Bloodline looks legit. Good TV. I agree on both accounts, King Mo. Best in the world, Matt, with a $5 super chat. Imagine CM Punk and the OG Bloodline winning WarGames, all of them with their hands raised, then cut to the back with Seth watching and melting down. That's the vision, brother. Apex with a $1.99. So why does Bianca hate Bayley but like Io? Bayley was the leader of Damage Control, and she had some bangers with Io, several bangers with Io. So I think there's a mutual respect for Io, but she can't stand Bayley. Ben Callanan with a 7 months. Love that JD as the fifth man for Punk makes sense after that promo with Heyman. Would love to see that. The place would go wild. JD's the best in the IWC. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. $10 super chat from my guy Don Parker. Bo Dallas promo tonight reminded me so much of Bray Wyatt that it was actually creepy. I thought it was a very good segment. OTS for life. Thank you, Don Parker. I thought the promo was great. I thought both Cross, Miz, and Bo Dallas' promo were really great stuff. You can tell a lot and really do a lot with great vignettes and promos, man, away from the ring. So I'm hoping for that 4-on-4 Survivor Series, classic, traditional Survivor Series elimination match between the two factions. Apex with a $1.99. JD, can you headbutt someone if you broke your orbital bone? I'm assuming we can. Rhea Ripley did it. I don't know what the fuck that mask is made of or how thick that mask is, but if she's got the mask on, I'm assuming that it protects what needs to be protected. The Joker's voice with a 1 month in the venue. Welcome, brother. Happy 1 month. Hell, JD and OTS. America made to SmackDown. Chad Gable, United States title, Creed's tag team title. Ivy Nile wins U.S. title. Tailor made for Gable and his crew. I love it. I love it. Would Turtle Beaches be able to be transmitted through my mixer? Go XLR, Triple M. I am not sure, but it does have a dual transmitter that you can flip back and forth easily between PC and your console. I don't know about Go XLR. I haven't used it with my Rodecaster yet, so it does have Bluetooth capabilities. I'm not sure if that is possible. I have to still tinker with it. But as far as the sound of the headset and what you are getting while playing, it is fucking great. Great. I've had several hours with it already, and I'm very excited to go and hop on some Black Ops 6 right now, just to use the headset, not to play the game, but it's a really comfortable fit. Sidro with a $2 super chat. Triple H said the hardcore title is being defended on January 6th. Brother, I did not get any sense of that with what he said at that concert. I did not get any sense of that at that concert. Trayvon with a $4.99 and a new membership. No message. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you being here, man. Emp Reacts with a $5 super chat. AEW can't draw numbers in Chicago like my Chicago Bears can't draw wins. Well, to be fair, did you guys see Thursday's game with the... Well, when was it? Oh, not Thursday's game. What was yesterday's game? Or Saturday's game? Whenever they played. The Lions and the Jaguars. Did you see the final score of last week's game? It's pretty indicative of what's happening with all of Tony Khan's entities. John Wick of Spider Hunters, $10 super chat. Me and Triple H were booking Raw on Netflix and wanted I Show Speed, but saw that he's going to Australia tonight. We might not see Speed again, so we decided to get Travis Scott. Rebecca Black is next. I have no idea who that is. No idea who that is. 52-6, yes. It's pretty indicative of what's going on in the world of Tony Khan. And a $10 super chat by Adam Khan, the real Khan. No message. Love it. Thank you guys very much, man. Appreciate you. You guys are great. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for everybody on Twitch who hung out last night. I ended the stream abruptly because I was so fucking pissed, man. It took me a good half an hour to fucking cool down last night. That last game on Newtown was just... I wanted to break something in here, man. But I appreciate you guys on Twitch. I appreciate you guys on YouTube, man. You guys killed it. Appreciate it. Tomorrow, Solomonster and I will be live for episode 74 of Tuesday Night Titans. You guys know the deal, man. The best two-man power trip in the entire IWC. Should be a good one. We're going to talk about all the hottest rumors in the IWC tomorrow night. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Go check out all the great content, including the extras from this past week. And go get yourself a Turtle Beach headset. TurtleBeach.com/script. They got their biggest sale of the year coming up for Black Friday. Guys, Sidro with a $5 super chat. Skeletor talking to girl. You have me feeling like a king of all 7 planets. Girl, aren't there 8 planets? Skeletor, not after I destroy Uranus. Oh my fucking God, man. We gotta tell that one to Solid Monster tomorrow night, man. That's a good one. That gets a standing O, Sidro. I'll see you guys tomorrow for TNT with the Solid Monster right here on OTS. I'll see you guys later.